Hello, this video is going to cover how to write equations of lines that are parallel or perpendicular to another line. Okay, so writing equations of parallel and perpendicular lines. Long title. Okay, so let's just recall that if you need to write the equation of a line, we need slope and we also need B. Okay, we need M and B. Okay, and let's also recall that parallel lines have the same slope. And perpendicular they have negative reciprocal slopes. Remember, that means you take the opposite signs and you flip the fraction. Okay, so like if the line has a slope of 2/3, then the perpendicular line would have a slope of opposite sign, so negative, and flip the fraction, 3/2. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at an example here. Write the equation of the line parallel to y equals negative 4x plus 3 and passes through the point -1, 2. Okay? All right, so again, we need M and we need B. Okay, so here, when we look at this equation, y equals negative 4x plus 3, then we know the slope of this equation is negative 4. So then over here, the slope of the parallel line, remember parallel lines have the same slope, so then the slope for the parallel will be the same. Okay, so we do have our M, but we do need our B. So here's X, and this is Y, and we are going to use the equation y equals mx plus b to solve for b. We're going to plug in for y, we're going to plug in for m, and we're going to plug in for x and solve for b. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So our y value, according to this, is 2. Our slope is over here, which is negative 4. Our x value is here, negative 1. And we don't know what b is, but we're going to solve for it. Okay, so let's work this out. 2 equals negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4. And now I can solve for b by subtracting 4 on both sides. They cancel out. So I get that negative 2 equals b. Okay, so now I have everything I need to write an equation of a line. It says here we need M and we need B. Well, we just solved for B and we already have the M. So then that means I can go ahead and write the equation of line. And now we are going to use y equals mx plus b again. But now all I do is plug in for the m and plug in for the b. Okay, so we leave the y. M is -4. We leave the x. And b is -2. Okay, so that's how you write the equation of a line that's parallel to another one. Okay, so now let's take a look at writing the equation of a line that's perpendicular. I'll actually use the same equation here and the same point. Okay, so write the equation of a line perpendicular to y equals, we'll use the same equation as above, y equals -4x plus 3 and passes through, we'll use the same point, -1, 2. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and take a look and see what we have here. Okay, so again, the slope of this equation, y equals -4x plus 3, the slope of this equation is -4. So the slope over here of the perpendicular is going to be, remember, we have to take the opposite sign and flip it. So if this is -4, ours will be positive 1/4. Okay, because remember, we have to flip this fraction. I know you don't see a fraction, but if you want to turn that into a fraction, you can put it over 1. Okay, our x value is -1. Our y value is 2. Okay, and we're going to do the exact same steps that we did in the previous problem. We are going to use y equals mx plus b. Okay, because I need to solve for b. So I'm going to plug in for y, I'll plug in for m, and I'll plug in for x. So y, according to this, is 2. My slope is up here, so that's 1/4. X is here, -1. And b is the one we don't know. Okay, so here we have a fraction, but don't be afraid. If you don't want to deal with that fraction, you can clear your fraction by multiplying by 4. If you multiply by 4, then it cancels out your fraction. But if you multiply that by 4, you need to multiply everything by 4, including the b over here. Okay? All right, so we get 4 times 2 is 8. Here the 4's cancel, so 1 times -1 is -1. And then 4 times b is just 4b. Okay, so now I can solve for b. So I will add 1 to both sides. And then I get 9 equals 4b. And now I can divide both sides by 4. And so b equals 9/4. Okay, so now I have my m and I have my b. I have that and I have the slope over here hiding. Okay, so once you have m and b, you can write the equation of the line. Okay, so we are going to use the y equals mx plus b form, and that's what we're going to plug our m and b into. Okay, so y equals m, which is 1/4, x plus b. Okay, and that's all there is to it. Okay, so just remember right over here, you can cancel your fractions by multiplying by the denominator 4. Okay, but remember to multiply everything if you're going to clear your fraction. Okay, all right, if you have any questions, make sure you ask me in class.